Okay, hello wonderful people of the internet, welcome back to another episode of Simuleos. I had a bit of trouble starting today's stream, want to talk about that really quick, hop into a few other topics, and then get right into the research for today. So, first of all, because of the Twitch leak and everything yesterday, I had to change my passwords, which meant I had to log in on this computer and that computer. There was just a whole bunch of issues leading to that I had to solve. But the big issue had nothing to do with any of that. The big issue had to do with the fact that I just changed my username on Twitch. And so IRSSI had this weird thing where it was letting me know when like all the users came in and didn't come in. And I kind of forgot the command with IRC clients in order to have them ignore like people joining and people exiting and all that kind of stuff. And so I think I've saved that to my like configuration files. I think it's okay. For now, I think we'll just have to see. If we start seeing people pop into chat, we'll have to fix it later on. But I think it's kind of okay. So I'm going to go ahead and attack the elephant in the room right now. We had a discussion as of yesterday about like, what category I should be streaming under. And I didn't really have a good answer to that yesterday. I still don't have a good answer today. But I want to talk about the logic right now of why I'm streaming under just chatting instead of the other categories. So the three categories we could choose between are 1, science and tech. 2, we'll say just chatting. And 3, which will be software, one second, and game development. Now, I want to talk just briefly about some history that has to do with Twitch. I started streaming on Twitch 6 years ago, a while ago. I've been streaming on Twitch for a while. Not like all the time, but like enough that I know like the Twitch ins and outs and stuff like that. A super long time ago, there was a category on Twitch that was specifically for programming. At the time, let me just do that. Let me do that again. Let me just delete that. Try this over again. Programming. All right. At the time, people were basically allowed to create categories for anything. They could create categories for new games or old games or whatever. If you could conceive of a category, you could create that category and stream to it. Animal Cams seems to rule science and tech. Exactly. So I want to talk about that. So I used to stream under the programming category. That's where I used to stream way back in the day. And quite frankly, when I streamed under the programming category, things were going super well. We were getting like 50 viewers per stream, 50, and days were great. This was back. I'll talk about the Twitch link later. This was back in 2015. And we were getting like 20 new follows every single stream, even though we were only streaming for like 2 hours. It was really, really quite good. Then Twitch did something really, really, just annoying. Basically what they did is they took the programming category and they said, screw it, we're not going to have any non-gaming content on the platform except for in the creative directory or whatever, right? So what ended up happening was all of the streamers who did anything that wasn't gaming related were put into creative. That's programming, game development, art, music, all this kind of stuff was put into the creative category. Now, is programming creative? Yeah, sure. Does it fit with art? Maybe. I don't know. But the fact is that making this switch made it nearly impossible for people to find programming streams. And as such, Twitch essentially killed the programming community. This happened back in like 16, but it might have been 2015. It was like 5 years ago, right? Now, during this time, I was one of the biggest streamers in the programming category, and I just kind of reached out to the Twitch people and said, yo, this is a bad decision. And I got a lot of feedback and all this kind of stuff. Since then, I have rarely, if ever, broken 50 viewers on my stream. Like, it doesn't happen anymore. And it's just super disconcerting, right? So, I then switched from doing predominantly Twitch content to predominantly YouTube content. And I don't know, things just got really weird around that time. Like I said yesterday, kind of the golden era of Leos content is probably in 2018. This is when I was still able to do regular Twitch streams. We had regular YouTube content coming out. The algorithm archive had just been created. We had a lot of stuff going on. Now, the reason I bring this up, I know it's an old story, but the reason I bring this up is that I would feel perfectly content streaming to a category that was specifically designated for programming or designated for research. Right now, there is not a category on Twitch for either of these, right? And so my big problem here is I don't know what category I should be streaming on, right? Where do I fit as a channel? And I don't know. So let's talk about that really quick. I'm going to delete all this, all that, and let's move up here. So there are 3 categories we could stream on: science and tech, just chatting, and software and game development. Let's talk about the last one first, software and game development. I, as a streamer, don't really write software. I create Julia packages every now and again, but I don't really write software, right? Like, I'm not like, creating a big software package for people to work on, right? But you could argue that I'm doing research software, so this part of the research and game of the software and game development fits 50%, right? The game development part fits 0%. I'm certainly not doing game development. No, at some point maybe I will, but right now my stream has 0 game development. And right now, these streams are predominantly filled with game developers. Now, again, probably, if I streamed in this category, there would be a lot of people who would like general programming content. But here's one big problem I have with that. Way back when the programming category existed on Twitch, there was one core problem that came up every single time. Every single stream, I had to answer the same question, which is, what are you making and why is it interesting, right? And the big problem with streaming with game developers is that game developers or people who are thinking about creating a game are solely focused on the end result, whereas we are typically focused on the process. We're focused on learning. We're focused on doing new research or something like this. So, as much as I know I would fit maybe 25%, I feel like I have a 25% compatibility with this particular group. I know the type of people that are there, and I feel like I don't want to open that bag of worms right now. That's what I feel. I don't know if this is true. I just know that that's how it is. I just don't want to have to deal with that. So now the science and tech category. Honestly, science and tech, I think I have a 50% compatibility with. I don't really do science, and I don't really do tech. But the fact is I'm doing research, and generally when you talk about science and tech, you can generally talk about research as well. So I feel like I'm 50% compatible with the science and tech category. The big problem with the science and tech category is that right now there aren't any programmers. Did you have paella? What is that? I don't know what that is. But anyway, so I don't really fit on the science and tech category either. Because again, I'm not doing science, I'm not doing tech, I'm doing specifically research. And that is computer science research, which is a different thing, Yeah, science and tech means everything that's not game development. Hey, Malcat, how are you? Did you see the XQC? Did you see how much XQC makes? I didn't. We'll talk about the Twitch leaks in just a second. So, I feel 50% compatible with science and tech. I feel 25% compatible with software and game development. And that means the last category I haven't checked out is just chatting, where I again feel 50% compatible. The reason I feel 50% compatible here is because that's what I do. I pretty much just talk about research. That's most of what I do. We do a lot of programming, but for the most part, it's talk about how to put different research ideas together. What does this mean? We did a long series for basically a month looking into convolutions. But, was that science and tech? No, it was basically just math, right? We were talking about math. So as much as I hate to say it, because I know, just chatting is a category filled with a bunch of people that are definitely not related to my stream content. Science and tech is also not related to my stream content, Let's see, what do we have? Isn't Wolfram also science and tech, and he only talks to his lackeys? Yeah, that's true. Math is science. That's debatable, right? Okay, here's the truth. I'll talk about the Twitch leaks later. Give me 5 minutes to finish up this conversation, and we'll move on to the Twitch leaks. So we're just going to go to browse here, and I'm going to go to science and tech right here. Software and game development, and then fine, just chatting. Oh, hello there. Screwed up. And the last one I need is just chatting. Okay. Right. So science and tech. Right. That was not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting at all. Where is the science and tech category? Let's go here. So right now, on the science and tech category, the top streamers are Pond Life on the Farm and Live Earthquake feeds. So I think this fits better in League of Legends. I mean, I've played League of Legends a long time ago, but I played League of Legends until essentially Oriana's release, and then I played Oriana for a month, and she was my main, and then I just stopped playing, like just completely. I was only playing because one of my friends was like super, not depressed, but he was having a hard time, and one way in which I could connect with him was through League of Legends, so I did that. I got my level 30 character, and then I stopped playing. I don't intend to go back to that game. It's just not engaging to me. But maybe playing some Guild Wars in the future could happen. I don't know. But right, so we have a few other people in here. So Pond Life on the Farm, Live Earthquakes, and then we do have people that are kind of relevant, right? So we have PC Cyberpunk 2077 edition, More Chickens. I don't know what this is, but I think it's 24 hours. Feed the Bunnies. Like, you see my problem. Right? A lot of these streams are people who will eventually go into software and game development, like this guy, or will, kind of more move in the direction of bunny streams. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't feel like I'm in the same category as people who want to just watch like a bunch of bunnies for 24 hours. Let's see. I know the creator of Pieworms. He is an HBC professor doing lectures with and future talks on Twitch. I assume in science and tech, right? I'm not really waiting to talk about the leaks. I'm sure there's nothing I can learn. This, though, is quite interesting and raises some questions about marking the content by its creators. But don't focus on that. These streams are just looking for passive streaming. Right. These streams are also in science and tech, like doing streaming without really doing streaming. Right. Exactly. That's what these are. And I just don't feel like... I just really don't feel like I'm... I don't know. It just makes me sad. It just really makes me sad. Software and game development, on the other hand, right? We see a lot of people making games, doing software development. Here's Tim. Tim's doing super well in this category. It's fine. It's good, actually, that this category has been created. But I don't know. The problem with this is that, like, when I go to categories like this, you always get the question that I mentioned before, which is, what are you doing? Why is it interesting? And it's just demoralizing is what it is. Because if you're building a project or building software, it's very clear what you're doing. But if you're just coding to learn stuff, like, people are like, okay, that's not interesting, and they leave. And you see it. You see it happen all the time. So, I don't know. I just get really down about that. Let's see. That isn't software and game development. What would be an example of technology that isn't software and game development? Okay, right. There's a lot of things that isn't software and game development that's technology. PC building is technology. Phones, technology. There's a lot of hardware stuff that's considered technology. I would argue I would argue that research probably does fit into science and tech. What do we have here? I feel like you're science and tech unless you're ranting about how much you rant on MATLAB. So how much do you rant about MATLAB? So look, there is a lot of discussion there to be had as well. Like, I do actually feel like science and tech is the correct place for my stream. But right now, that particular category is just dead, is the problem. Like, there just aren't people that stream on that category. That's why pretty much every single streamer that does actual science content on Twitch goes to just chatting. You see it all the time with, like, Freckled Science, Skylius, Kit Boga, all these big streamers do tech-related content, but they all move to just chatting because that's where that content lives now, It's not dead. Okay, right. I made the comment that it's dead, and fine. You're right. It's not dead, but I mean... I don't know. I don't know. I just want to try a new category out. We'll see how it goes. Again, I'm wanting to go back to the time when we had a programming channel on Twitch, where, I'd stream on the programming category on Twitch, where I'd stream there, and, like, it get a good response. Like, people would genuinely want to watch that content. It's been a long time since that happened. So, I don't know. I'm with Pink Emma here. It feels like science and tech is the right is almost the right name for the content that I want to make here. In fact, it probably would be the right place to be. But I'd have to like kind of grow the category from the ground up, because there just aren't people who are doing the type of stuff I want to see. Okay, so here's the big problem. When there was a programming category on Twitch, I literally could just tell people, hey, go to the programming category on Twitch, ignore all the games, just go there, and you'll find good streams, right? No, Twitch did it on purpose. They didn't do it accidentally. They did it on purpose. It really pissed me off at the time. What happened was we would stream under the programming category. And what happened is they literally would take our stream that we say program under or stream under the programming category, and they would move it to creative. They would do it by hand at the start, and then they had an automated process to do it. They would take everything from these categories and force it onto creative, so you could not stream on those categories anymore. It wasn't an accident. They purposely destroyed those communities. You have a watch now, midday EU time, and project that to 24 hours. It's like entering a bar in the morning and saying it's dead. Okay, fine. You're right in saying that, like, we're kind of like midday EU time, which isn't necessarily the time in which, like, people are going to be watching, right? Right. Is there a reason they did that? Did they lose or gain money from it, or they literally just pissed people off? Like, that was the whole purpose, was they were trying to put every bit of non-gaming content into a single category. And when they did that, they destroyed every single non-gaming community on Twitch. It may be possible that the community just doesn't want to get information on Twitch because it kind of wastes their time without usable rewind, pause, subtitle functionality. Well, the thing is, those streamers didn't go to YouTube. They there was there was like a new site that was created for like programming live streams. I don't remember what it was called, that people went to for a bit, but they didn't go to YouTube. I wasn't on Twitch in 2015. Yeah, I know I'm kind of ranting to the wind here because, like, a lot of people here weren't around during those times. In fact, most people weren't. It's funny how Twitch happened because Justin TV didn't want all the game streams on there. Right. If I were to choose a category to look for content like yours, I would go first to science and tech, but knowing what it is right now, I would go to software and game development and never to just chatting. That's also fair, right? Like, okay, here's the big problem. And I agree. I 100% agree with that comment, right? Like, I don't know why I'm making this a big deal. It's not a big deal. Who cares what category you're streaming under? Like, it really doesn't matter for my purposes. But, what I'm really trying to do is get more researchers. Let me just type it out. I want more researchers to stream. That's what I want. I want more people to do research on stream. I want more live, like, science streams. Not science, but more live research streams. So I want people to just do more of that type of content. Right. And you're also right about that. In just chatting, like, no one's going to find the stream. I don't know. Okay, maybe I can go back to science and tech. In fact, maybe you're right. Maybe I should. So this, okay, here's the thing. There's two ways to do that, right? Here's the two ways to do it. One, stream on just chatting. Which would mean that potentially, eventually, you can grow to a rather large number in just chatting. And if you grow to a large number in just chatting, then people know that people want to see researching content, and you grow it that way, right? So the thing about just chatting is there's 200,000 people watching right now? I made that number up. I have no idea, but there's a large number of people watching, 186,000. Right. And so that would be a place where you can just kind of grow your stream, right? And then the second way to do this would be to stream on Science and Tech. And do what Pink Emma just said, where the best case is that we take the Science and Tech category back. And so the idea here would be to stream there and, grow that community up separately, right? Could you explain the benefits of streaming researchers? I'll talk about that in just a second. I discovered Twitch from Ninja Stream somehow, and those beginning seemed hard, like a lot of changes, but also causing my curiosity. It doesn't seem that any science, tech, programming, etc. are on the leaderboard means they aren't popular. Only one there, but it's an exceptional case. Yeah, so the one... I think I know what you're talking about. So the one streamer that I think does programming content and is on the leaderboard of the top streamers on Twitch is Kitboga, I think. now, have a look. It's not dead. Let me see. What do we have? Okay. No, look. Here's the thing. Let me just be very clear. I know science and tech isn't dead. That's not my point. My point is that it's filled with content that is not the type of content that I believe matches the audience that I'm trying to find. Prime, I actually have never heard of Prime again before. I think you mentioned them yesterday or something. Prime, again? Yeah, I don't think I've heard of this person before. The Prime again on GitHub? Oh, yeah, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea who this is. Anyway, sorry, I don't know. Prime again, YouTube. Okay. Go back. Let's just, there's a Twitch stream down there. No, that's not it. Try it again. Maybe on Google. YouTube, Twitter. Do they have a Twitch stream? Oh, here they are. Anyway, this isn't my point. My point isn't to talk about this. And when I said, see, you're complaining about stuff. Okay, wait. Okay, let me just clarify. I have looked at these stats before. Clearly, I look at these stats a lot. My point when I said the science and tech category is dead, I wasn't claiming. What I was trying to say is that it's filled with a bunch of streams that are not the type of content that is like related to the content that I want to see on there, right? Toxic chat. Exactly my opinion. Your view seems too narrow. Wait, what do you mean? My view. Okay, let me just. I might just go. Screw it. We'll talk about this later. I'm done. Yeah, I'll go. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll just do research on my own. I'm done for now. All right, bye guys. See you later.